Assalamu alaikum guys and welcome to my YouTube channel Biology Articles and MCQs. Guys, our today's topic is carbon cycle. First of all, we will learn that what is carbon cycle. This carbon cycle simply explains the movement of carbon between the living and non-living components. How the carbon is transferred from the atmosphere or to hydrosphere and to living organism. Here you can see that these are the living components of the environment and these are the non-living components of the environment. Living components may include plants or fungus, it can be animals, etc. And the non-living components, you know, that wind and sunlight, water, atmosphere, these are all the non-living components. In the carbon cycle, we will mainly discuss that how the carbon is transferred from plants to animals and how it is transferred transferred to the atmosphere again in the form of carbon dioxide, or how the transfer of the carbon takes place between the living and non-living components or vice versa. But before starting the carbon cycle, we will discuss about the different forms of carbon because the carbon is present, you know, that in different form in different organisms. For example, the carbon is present in the form of carbon dioxide in air, but in the living organism, it is present in the form of carbohydrates. And if we talk about the seas and ocean, it is present in the form of limestone or it can be present in the form of calcium carbonate. So these are the different form of carbon. You can also define the carbon cycle that we will discuss that how the carbon in the carbon dioxide that is present in the air is transferred into the carbohydrates, is transformed into the carbohydrates that is present in living organism. Or we can also say that how the carbon dioxide that present in the air is transformed into the limestone or calcium carbonate that is present in the ocean. So in this cycle we will study about these conversions. So let's move towards first of all the carbon cycle on land. First of all, we will discuss that how the carbon will transform on land in different forms. Here is the simplest carbon cycle that is drawn. So starting from the carbon dioxide that is present in the atmosphere, I have told you that in the atmosphere carbon is present in the form of carbon dioxide. So first of all, there is carbon dioxide, and when the plants carry out a process that is called as photosynthesis, you know that in the process for photosynthetic process, the carbon dioxide mix up with the water in the presence of sunlight and it will change into the glucose and oxygen. So the photosynthetic process needs carbon dioxide, so their plant use the carbon dioxide in for the process of photosynthesis. Here the photosynthesis process result in the product that is, you know, that there is formation of glucose. Then in the second step, the plants will be eaten by the animals. And for example, here you can, the plants will be eaten by different animals. For example, let's say it is an animal. It is eaten up by the animals, and when the these plants and these animals died, they will decompose. So first of all, the carbon was present in the form of carbon dioxide in air. Then it changed into the carbohydrates in the plants and animals. And now these plants and animals are decomposed. And in the decomposition process, the carbohydrates mix up with the oxygen and these again convert into the carbon dioxide. Here you can see that this is the decomposition process, and decomposition process is again leading towards the carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. Here this is the first step, that how the carbon dioxide changes into the carbohydrates, and carbohydrates are again changes into the carbon dioxide. So we get the carbon dioxide in the atmosphere from a process that is called decomposition. Secondly, you know that the animals also respire. And in the respiration process, they use oxygen and then produce carbon dioxide. So a carbon dioxide enter in the atmosphere through a second process that is called as respiration. And you know that plant also respire, and the product of the respiration is again carbon dioxide. This is the third source of carbon dioxide, means the third process that is increasing the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. And the fourth process is the fossil fuels combustion. You know that when the organism are dead, means these are decomposed, some of the molecules after the decomposition changes directly into the carbon dioxide, and some of the components changes into the fossil fuels. And when these fossil fuels are burned in different factories, fossil fuel, you know that the coal, oil, or natural gas, when these are burnt, they increase the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. Here it is a cyclic process, that how the carbon dioxide changes into carbohydrates, and the carbohydrates again changes into the carbon dioxide, or different processes we have studied here that are increasing the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. So let's summarize that. Then some processes. The first process that is increasing the carbon dioxide in the atmosphere is decomposition. Second process is animal respiration. Third is plant respiration, and the fourth process is fossil fuel combustion. These are increasing the carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. And the one and only process that is using the carbon dioxide is photosynthesis. So in this way, the carbon is changing from its one form to another, and it's going to from the living components towards the non-living components. This is how the carbon cycle in the land is going on. Second, we will discuss about the oceanic carbon cycle. Guys, oceanic carbon cycle means how the carbon cycle is going on in the ocean. And the carbon cycle in the ocean is different from the carbon cycle that is going on land. So this is a simple summarization of the carbon cycle that is carrying out in the ocean. First of all, there is a carbon dioxide molecule shown. This carbon dioxide molecule is present in the air, and almost 30% of the carbon dioxide that was present in the air is absorbed by phytoplanktons. And you know that the phytoplanktons are the plant-like organisms. And the plant-like organism carry out the photosynthesis, and in this process they use the 30% of the carbon dioxide in the air. So here the carbon dioxide is entered in the water. In the next step, the carbon dioxide that have entered in the water is changing into the calcium carbonate. How it is changing into the calcium carbonate? Some marine animals are responsible for this, that they changes the carbon dioxide of the water into the calcium carbonate. And you know that the calcium carbonate help in the formation of some hard shells. Here are the hard shells shown. And the hard shells that are mostly found in the oysters or clams. So this calcium carbonate, carbon dioxide first changing into the calcium carbonate, and the calcium carbonate makes the hard shell of many organisms. And when these hard-shelled organisms die, they accumulate in the sea floor. And when these hard shells are break down by the waves, they form one thing that is called limestone. Here it is shown the limestone. And when guys the limestone is exposed to air, it is again converted into the carbon dioxide that is present in the air. This is a cyclic pathway in the ocean, that firstly the carbon dioxide is entered into the water by the photosynthesis of phytoplanktons, and the second step the carbon dioxide changes into calcium carbonate by marine animals, and this calcium carbonate form the hard shells. When these marine organisms or hard shelled organisms die, they form the limestone, and the limestone again converted into carbon dioxide. This is all about the oceanic carbon cycle. I hope you all understand about the all the processes that are going on. Before leaving, we will also discuss the importance of carbon cycle. Guys, carbon dioxide is found in the small traces in atmosphere, and it is only 0.04%. But it plays an important role in the balancing the energy and in trapping long wave radiations from the sun. So the carbon dioxide also acts as a blanket over the planet. And if the carbon cycle is disturbed, it will result in the serious results like global warming. So here you can sense about the importance of the carbon cycle, that if the carbon cycle is disturbed, it will lead to drastic effects like climate changes, and it can lead to the global warming. I hope you understand all about the carbon cycle on the land and carbon cycle in the ocean and importance of the carbon cycle. And I hope you like this video, and don't forget to share this video with your friends. Thank you so much.